PSG Talon win. It is sadly yet another 3-3 exit for Maple at Worlds.
Yeah, I think it's quite disappointing for PSG, where they could have broken a long trend of, again, before the LMS, now the PCS, not making it to quarterfinals. It hasn't been since 2015 when both Flash Wolves and HQ made it out. And Freak, we all know you're dying to talk a little bit more about Fnatic, like you said earlier.
Look, the stories have to be said. So yeah, you mentioned it with Maple. This is his 6th World Championship. Only once did he make it out of the group stage. There was the auto seed in 2013. That's not making it out of groups, that's a seed. He has made it out of groups, sadly, only once. This is going to be his next failure, sadly, on the docket. MSI has gone better for him. For Fnatic, in their 11th international appearance, sadly the 2nd time ever. First time in 7 years that they have fallen in a group stage. It is not what they wanted. I know upset being out of the picture obviously hurts them. But listen, as someone who watched 100 Thieves play yesterday, there is a little bit of solace you get for ending your week 2-1. For at least punching up, taking down RNG, taking down PSG and saying, you know, on a different day, this could have been just that little bit better, right? A little bit better on day 1 in week 1, and it could have been a different story. And know that you were close. It feels better than getting blown out. So
yeah,
I know the players will hold their heads up high. It will give some solace to the fans, and they're going to push for that win.
It definitely goes to show of like, hey, you know, had we maybe prepared differently or come into this day better, we could have done it, which is always nice to see. And we're seeing very serious drafts. You know, no team saying, hey, even though we're eliminated, we're going to take it a bit looser. With Jarvan MF on one side, the combo, the Cataclysm into the bullet time. Or on the other side, we just keep seeing it for Bwipo. They love this Viego pick. And I mean, it just pops off in skirmishes. You get these souls and you keep going. And for Fnatic overall, Hilly once again going towards his patented Rakan. So Fnatic keeping it on comfort.
This is fun. I mean, they love the pick. I love the pick. Bwipo's Viego is great. So that'll be fun to watch for. Obviously, on the other side, PSG Talon hoping to make that 3-3 run. Again, that also gives them that same solace of like, well, you know, we went equal in the group. Just really unlucky that, you know, the games went the way they did. And sadly, 3-3 is not enough to get out. Trust me, I felt that one a lot, going 3-3 and not getting out of the group. We'll see which one can pull up the win here in this game. Nautilus locked in onto the second phase of bans.
Yeah, I'm curious to see where PSG are going to go towards the top lane. You do expect that Hanabi will be laning up against the Graves, and I've been talking to a lot of teams about their opinions on Graves, and a lot of them just think it's too strong. It doesn't really have any bad matchups. You can play it as a weak side champion that can absorb pressure because you can run fleet footwork, you have your E to escape, or you can just set up waves and look for dives. So I wonder if they will go for maybe more of a weak side top laner, like something like a tank themselves. Because the nice thing I like about tanks up against things that don't really have strong lane fighter counters is you can always just buy Bramble and plated steel caps, and your champion can pretty much play against anything.
That's fun. It's always good to play that safe side and then just win somewhere else as we get the Ezreal gone. The Kennen is off indeed. Graves always can go mid. I don't think we've seen it a single time at Worlds, but Graves mid is, I think, actually quite viable. You often hurt for match damage if that's the case. Obviously, Viego's already locked in. No one really plays Ziggs right now, although he's also viable. Kai's off the table, as we saw the Ezreal already gone earlier.
Yeah, the nice thing is, you know, they did hover the Ziggs earlier. They did show that something like that is possible.
Yeah.
So it is always there. And now I want to say, okay, so they do ban away the Gwen. So 2 champions that would give their composition nice magic damage. And overall, this is a conversation a lot of us casters have been having the past 2 days about Kennen in general, about how strong he has looked. And it seems like Gwen must be making a reappearance in scrims with how much we are seeing her. But PSG are just keeping it stock and standard and going towards the Jace for themselves.
A lot of it seems to be just wanting meta damage in the comp. Obviously, AD junglers are the most common. You know, RIP for Rogue. The Fiddlesticks has looked pretty good, but there aren't a ton of mage junglers right now that are getting commonly played. And a lot of the mid laners aren't high damage. Obviously, TF is banned. Certainly Ryze is out there as well, but we're just kind of not seeing, unless you're Chovy, a ton of damage in the mid. I like this. Xayah Rakan is in. Will note, by the way, because Xayah Rakan, obviously a well-known duo, the like win rate gain on being paired is actually not that high anymore. The synergy like buffs got nerfed so heavily that they're not even each other's best duo anymore.
That honestly just sounds so strange, but I mean, we're going to see if Bean and Hilly can make it work. It is cool seeing these come out for the first time as Niski takes away the Zoe for himself. They were hovering the Silas. Glad they didn't go that one because Zoe would have been a really nice answer. And for the side of PSG, you're playing a lot with range right now. If they do opt into going the Orianna, they do have a lot of ball delivery set up in their composition, but I like the idea of playing with more range. You have the bullet time, you have the make it rain, you have the accelerated shock blast. I think just lock in the Syndra. It is a bit of a skill matchup that I'd say in the past has always favored Syndra just a little bit. Very easy to try to look for those Scout of the Weeks when Zoe goes for the portal jump, but Syndra's also taken a lot of hits over, I just say over the years in general.
And it looks like she's 6-1 at Worlds. 86% win rate. That's probably a 7-game sample, 6-1. One of those is top lane from Xiaohu, but it still counts. Maple gonna pilot this champion here up against Niski's Zoe. A battle for pride and a battle for third place. PSG Talent obviously hard claim it if they go 3-3. Fnatic will tie for third if they can claim this one, and that's just going to be a tie for third to end the group, which will salvage some pick'ems since either road will get full points. That has saved me in pick'ems before in other years of Worlds. This time around, though, I am not close to accurate in any of my groups.
Somehow in Group A, I got a ton of points because I messed up my pickups, Freak, so thank God for that one, but
that's good.
We're going to be looking at the drafts, and the thing I'm most interested in is seeing the mid-jungle 2v2s, right? When you have something like Syndra coming out onto the Rift, especially when paired with a Jarvan, you just have so much kill pressure coming through, whether it's finding a nice Scout of the Week to set up for the EQ combo to land, or vice versa. Even on the opposite side, I mean, one of Zoe's big strengths, right, is getting into those early river skirmishes where summoners are blown and then you just gain so much power through your W. So I definitely expect both teams to pay a lot of attention to mid lane. And I mean, historically, we know both teams have always loved to do so.
Yes. I mean, Maple, the team comes to him is how the data works out. Like his his support mid duo proximity is very, very high. His lane percent is also very, very high. Just Coming shows up and they're like, I'm in mid, bud. What do we got? Are we killing a Zoe? Great, let's do it. That's the play style here for PSG Talon. Niski, obviously, again, a focal point here as well, but he is a man who gets to his teammates. Adam's going to come down to level 3.
Exactly.
Niski's going down to bot lane at level 4. They're moving around the map.
Speaking of moving around the map, we have Bean up towards the top lane right now, trying to catch Hanabi off guard.
Hanabi, I believe, will not spot anyone. Adam turns the corner. Now they know, okay, I'm going to 1v2. Got it. Okay, information gathered. If you want to overload bot side, you can do it. You're in a guaranteed 4v3.
Ooh, so it looks like what they were trying to do was bait them into pushing PSG. Yeah, pushing them to bot side.
Because that's frequently what happens, right?
Yeah.
When you go for the top play and you're like, do we catch someone in the brush? Do we get a top laner? It's like, okay, well, we run down to grab Raptors.
I feel like the biggest tell to me there, though, would be the fact that it's only 80 carry and top showing, right? No other real, like, CC or lockdown members.
Raakon's supposed to lead when that happens.
Exactly,
so it's like,
yeah, it's like, huh.
And it's good in intuition, right? Because obviously no one else was seen. Like, oh, there's always a chance they, like, maybe went bottom side through try, like, towards red. Like, it's a possibility.
Yeah.
But good read, no deep ward, okay, fine. A defensive ward comes down in the top side river brush for PSG Talon. River takes the recall, gets his sweeper, and he's going to be soloing red buff. So information will not be given. Fnatic do not get a single deep ward, and they will not know where the Jarvan started.
I'm interested to see what River will do. He's obviously pathing towards the bottom side right now. Curious if he would want to look for some type of early gank on either soul lane. I do believe Graves is quite well in this matchup. You obviously have the smoke screen, which works quite well when you are facing another champion who can rely on auto attacks in these short trades. Jay's definitely a lot more of kind of play it back. You can look for the poke, though. Adam, of course, running the fleet.
Wow.
Oh, work is River.
Again, they don't know where he is. They don't know which side he went. Niski is intuitively guessing to play bottom side. Maple has a stun, though. Is it going to force the flash? Flag and drag. He is going to be forced to flash away. Niski now going to be down a summoner for this landing phase.
Like you said, it was almost pretty nice, right? Niski intuitively playing towards that bottom side. Still, Scout of the Week by Maple, able to land, secure that flash coming out. River not really having enough time, I think, to look for any type of reactive flash. Probably wouldn't be able to secure the kill regardless, but now Maple going to have a ton of pressure in this mid lane, as we do see here, and they'll be able to pretty much consistently have River hover towards the mid lane, unlock Maple, and start roaming down. But as you already pointed out, Maple doesn't leave lane all too much, so I think it's a lot more likely for River to just look for a repeat gank and try to find some type of kill in the mid lane.
One thing I want to point out, by the way, I want to be there first before people realize. You know, it's like with Vedius with his Nocturne, and eventually he was right that lane Nocturne is just like busted, and that's why he's even Diamond 2, because he played an overpowered champion. Shout out Vedius. I also play Nocturne. I understand what it's like. It's a great champ. But the real tech for Xayah is actually Halo Blades. That is actually the Xayah tech, and one day we'll see it. Because things with lethal tempo, you like throw Qs out and then you just like it's on cooldown for any fight ever possible. Because it's like it procs, you hit some minions, who cares? But if you got Halo Blades, in any fight, you are guaranteed a route with just W auto. It's so free, and you win every short trade really reliably, and it makes her actually very, very good in lane.
You know, my biggest takeaway, other than following the fact that we're gonna see if this becomes meta freak, is the fact that you are just absolutely ruthless today. As Bwipo's trying to be ruthless as well.
Yeah, Bwipo finds. I mean, they're gonna get. Oh, that stun is huge! That stun is so big, and River is here, out of it into the mid lane instead. What the flash? Adam is there to save the man's life, though, and no kill on the board.
Yeah, just amazing scatter of the week coming out from Maple to set all of that up. Sadly, Adam is another jungler on the side of Fnatic, so he does consistently look for these roams and plays down towards the mid lane.
Yeah.
Still, though, I mean, the fact that Maple's able to get away scot-free and potentially even set up that play, gonna get more damage here as well.
Okay, Illisan gonna go ahead and find the first little bit on Unified as Kami takes a bit of damage, but goes right back in. Careful, your health bar is low, but they know the E is on cooldown. Niski, thankfully, has a stolen flash to stay alive.
I mean, PSG just being ruthless with targeting this lane over and over again. A lot of pressure coming on Niski, so Maple has been able to build himself up a bit of a CS lead, as we do see, has opted into the tier as well, so should have a pretty easy lane with the amount of resources he's getting to stack that one up. The damage coming out from Zyrakan in bottom lane, a bit surprising. Haven't seen this duo all too much lately, but still PSG able to turn it around. They did have to get a bit of an awkward recall. I don't think they did get the wave into turret, but looks like PSG now want to pivot up towards top side.
At least they got the Noon Quiver, though. Like, that's really important to hit that breakpoint on the recall. That, you know, you're under 5 minutes in, and because you had a longsword start, you're able to get a really early Noon Quiver. That is such an important power spike. It matters so much for last hitting. But, oh, Adam, you have a flash, but it will not matter. First blood in for Hanabi.
I mean, he didn't even get a chance, right? Kaiwing was just so decisive with that one. Flash immediately into the hook, chained right into the EQ combo coming out from River. Now we're going to see Hanabi be able to push this wave in. No TP up for Adam, so he is going to lose out just in general on gold and EXP and set Hanabi up in a good spot.
Here we go. Watch it again. Kaiwing taught everything he knows by Lyric himself. Quote me on that one. Flash auto. Oh, actually flash Q. No way out.
Yeah, has the aftershock. I mean, I guess that doesn't even really matter, right? He's just instantly dead. We even see the Ignite going down just to make sure where they didn't really need it. But yeah, I mean, Unified and Kaiwing having been around for such a long time as get a bit of Verizon 5G all chat, freak.
Yes, and I agree. Thank you, One. I'm hoping for Banger as well. Bangers are fun to cast. Honestly, you know, the Brits have it right. You know, give me some of that, give me some MASH. Good games.
And I think the fact that both of these teams have shown they're willing to be scrappy, they're willing to be brawly, it's like a UFC fight, you lock them in the octagon, they're willing to go, is super cool. Have not seen that yet thus far, but they are willing to go for it. But yeah, Unified Kaiwing been around for such a long time. I remember working with these guys for a brief period back in the day when I was coaching in the LMS. Kaiwing, always a bit of a leader, always a bit of a shot caller. Unified on the opposite side. I was around him maybe for like 6 months. I think I heard him talk once. Not a very talkative guy at all. Very much just plays League of Legends.
Fair enough. At least he's pretty good at it.
Yeah, it works. I mean, you know, been on top of the region for quite a long time now, so.
Yeah.
And
3 titles.
You got Kaiwing to talk for you. That's all you need.
That's true. You know, AD carries, you can just shut up and last hit minions. That flag is well timed. River's going to spot the fact that Bwipo's up a level and going for his red buff. Smite available for both. Vision can be claimed, though, and this could be a real fight. Maple's on the way. Level 6. Hylissang nearby. Stun. Not going to land. Here comes the anchor. Here comes the flash. Claimed by Bwipo. But Maple finds the kill on the Hylissang. Sleep coming in. Is that enough damage? River only partially body blocked. Oh, no, Bwipo! You are getting thinned out.
He thought he'd be able to find the damage to be able to get the soul and keep going in the fight, but not sure if that was the right call coming out from Bwipo. Overall, PSG just having numbers advantage.
I think he might have not had vision on the fact that River blocked it. But no, that doesn't make sense because Zoe would have art over, so.
Oh,
Adam!
I'm honestly not even quite sure.
Projectiles!
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Auto-attack projectiles!
Oh, well. Yeah, Hanabi and Adam solo killing each other.
It's brawling.
Hey, it goes back to the analogy I made about the UFC earlier. It pretty much works out perfectly of these guys being locked in a cage, being extremely scrappy. And, I mean, PSG so far coming out ahead, about a 1K gold lead. As we go back into the replay, look at the mini-map so far, both Adam and Niski not here. Surprised Fnatic would opt to go for this. Very easy for Hanabi and Maple to both wrap around despite being pushed in. We see the Q hit. And
he blast planted in. The blast plant missed, he went into the pit. So he's like, I can ult out maybe, but he just ulted in to try to find a kill.
Yeah.
I don't know if he actually meant to go in, and he's like, yeah, Zoe's gonna hit, we're gonna do it. Like, that could have been the play. Obviously, good by River to tank the paddle star. Big damage loss because he tanked it. I can see it going either way, right? Because it was reliable to be like, oh yeah, Niski hits because he's sleeping, we go for the kill, and
you have
River
other members
well.
there, you can look for the turn. Yeah. I can see how you could potentially justify it, but in the end, PSG pick up the kills. Now we're going to see them start making the roam towards top side. Hilly's still in the bot lane, so I don't expect Fnatic to look for a contest, but I feel like if Fnatic aren't getting a contest right, you have to send Whippo down towards bottom lane now, try and force Unified off of turret, start taking away some of these bot side jungle camps, and look for the cross-map gold tree.
And looking for it now. One plate about to be down. I believe there's just a shy of that little plate, and then bullet time, not the absolute best, and Unified indeed has to walk away. Whippo's there for the 3v1. This will be plate 2 just barely taken. No, not even. The wave's too shy. River is able to take top lane Herald, or Herald's always top side. But, you know, as this wave is getting taken away, proxied.
They do need to be careful, though, because Maple's TP actually just came back up, so Fnatic over-aggress. Once again, PSG can find a fight with numbers advantage.
So they went for the play on bot side, right? They went for a kill, they didn't find it. Hylissang wants in, they're gonna ult for the slow. That means the knockup could land, but hold on, Syndra's in. Hylissang dangerously low, but enough MR to survive. Second bit of damage comes across, though. Will they find the kill? No, River's there to tank it all, so no kill to be found. And Fnatic, in their attempt to cross-map, they get half a plate, they deny a wave, and they get nothing else.
Yeah, sadly not able to get anything. I mean, Unified respected there. Like you said, Ultimate was able to get some of the minions down, starts backing off, and PSG with a really fast rotation down back towards that bottom side. Maple also crucially recalled at a very impactful timing to where, as Fnatic, you can't exactly know where he is. Fnatic now still going to be able to pick up this dragon on the bottom half of the map. PSG hovering up towards top, allowing for Hanabi to get all these plates. They also do have the Rift Herald in their inventory, and PSG know that Fnatic are going to be looking for the response. That's why Maple is stacking up these orbs and looking to fight, because Fnatic might not know he's here.
As River looks to the play on Hylissang, went for the knockup, instead will be that himself, down to 300, nearly dies as Adam fires out, but doesn't find that kill either. Stunned. Maple not quite going to go for the ulti. It's on cooldown. The long-range anchor lands. A heal is not going to be enough. 1 for nothing so far. Kaiwing going to take a quick nap. Will it be a dirt nap? Niski wants to get around, but can't find his way across. Hylissang tries to find one as well. Nice shot on a Hanabi, but ultimately the top lane turret dies, all 5 plates taken, and first turret goes to PSG Town, 3,000 gold lead.
PSG just doing a really nice job so far. It all started where we expected, right? Cementing their lead through their mid-jungle 2v2, and ever since then it's been about bringing River and Maple up towards that top side, and really just impacting this top lane matchup, which you're playing 2, I'd say, more volatile champions. Jace definitely, Graves as well, has been able to find his mythic. Actually, both now with the back coming out from Hanabi, so still topside skirmishing looks like the name of the game for both teams. I don't think that surprises anyone, right? We've been seeing 80 carries left alone on an island all tournament long and just looking to stack up their farm. As we go straight into the replay, PSG doing a nice job. They had tempo advantage from the play on bot side that Fnatic really overstayed for. Maple already here stacking up all these orbs, hits the scout of the week. Didn't look like they expected to be able to have enough damage with Maple not having ultimate, but after the accelerated shot class, the Nautilus Q, they are able to guarantee that kill on Adam.
And now we're back in the map, and we're looking for Fnatic to find themselves the comeback, or PSG Talent to just close it out. As they've got control pretty much everywhere. The only one who's going to be down in gold realistically is Unified. You know, not a lot of gold, not a lot to say, and that's all right. The rest of the team is doing pretty nice. And that means they can win with the 4, as Unified just kind of holds the line on MF. Part of the reason you picked her, right? You can leave her alone. You sometimes ult a wave to make sure that you don't lose plates. Like, that's obviously a strength. We know we saw a lot of Ziggs at the end of this split because you wanted something that could be left alone and just, okay, they're going to overload the lane. We just ult the wave, it's no problem. But now Fnatic are going to find that kill. Hanabi going to flash back to his team. Be careful, though. You're still in a 1v3 to the skies and to the ground. Whippo claims his first kill of the game.
Really strange coming out from Hanabi because both teams were cross-mapping, right? And both teams had vision of the other team going for the cross-map, taking away each other's raptors. Hanabi just poking his head in, maybe seeing if he can try to steal away their red buff or just get a bit of damage down while he's hovering under inner turret. Does walk too far forward, even expends the flash to try to get away. Isn't able to in the end, and looks like it should just be a bit of a trade, some plates on both Unified and Adam.
Yep.
Ooh, TP coming out though.
Can they land a stun in time? Yes, they will, but there's reinforcements. Will it be in time? They'll Hanabi just barely staying alive, but not for long. Niski gets one, and Niski's gonna get two. Fnatic were there for the 4v2, and they get both kills.
Really nice read coming out from Fnatic is Unified. I think just trying to force Bean off. Bean shouldn't be able to get solo. Oh, Niski!
Wing not quite gonna take the dirt nap. And yeah, able to walk out. Unified, I don't believe can. Oh, okay. Now Bean's got to be careful. Bean is very nearly in lethal range.
He has ult, he has heal, he has flash.
That's true, but yeah, when the turret's this low, it's like he's going to walk up on you and attack the turret and then just take the fight, and you just can't really do anything about that one. Keep in mind, Mythic difference is in. Kraken Slayer versus the Boots 1. Yeah, that is going to be a diff, and it means Unified looking pretty good down there. Bean just playing very, very much on the weak side.
Yeah, a bit surprised doesn't go for the recall right now, but even going back further, I think the Hanabi TP was... Oh, okay, we're going to stop talking about the Hanabi TP. It looks like Bean might be in for a bad time. Still has all the same tools that we talked about. Heal, ult, and flash, but...
Oh, no, you can't recall here. You can't recall here. You have no vision. River, EQ, yeah. Okay, he has ult. And River's unwilling to go for the ulti. I mean, he would ult, and then Bean would just flash, and he wouldn't get any damage, so I understand it. But you can just walk back out. You have enough vision that he's not getting supported.
Yeah, you still could potentially follow up then with your own flash for the kill. Would be completely meaningless though, so glad he didn't. But this was a bit surprising coming out from Hanabi. Sure, you do have double TP coming in, but again, you were just cross-mapping. You still don't see them on the bottom side of the map where you have your vision completely littered. So you know that they still should be up around that side. Doesn't matter if you bring Maple in as well. You will be outnumbered and they just get taken down. So PSG giving some opportunities over to Fnatic to get back into the game.
True. And I mean, I think Maple's flash is pretty silly as well. You're flashing over the champions in a 1v4. Like, they're still in range of you, bud. So some mistakes, unfortunate, but it is still PSG talent up 18 gold. Fnatic closing the gap somewhat, up a dragon. Next one spawning in about 7 seconds. Adam is top lane, he has teleport, and Hanabi not having one has to choose. Do I help top lane turret or do I play for dragon? Maybe they get it anyway. River gonna start this dragon on spawn.
River, looks like he's questioning it. I like that Fnatic making the way towards top side because, again, when we get into the question of like mid-contest and going into River, you look at the side of PSG's Cop, has more long-range tools available with things like the Make It Rain, the Jace, and especially the Scatter of the Week. I feel like Syndra is so good when you're looking to contest over mid-wave for who can walk into River first. Fnatic don't want to walk into their bottom side of the map with the fact they already have Adam top. And again, we're just getting this consistent cross-map and trade of objectives, which is keeping the gold lead relatively close. And even as we get further on into the game, I don't feel like scaling is heavily like outweighs one side or the other. Both definitely have tools. Is PSG trying to play?
Whippo is gonna get spotted there. Wait, just auto him. Just stand in the brush and auto him. He's gonna ult back to safety. Bullet time nearly kills. Comedy of errors a little bit in this game.
Yeah.
Wing, yeah.
Just go for the auto, get the passive route, chain that into your hook. That's not what we saw. I
mean, he pressed Q before he saw him, so it was already too late by the time he was in vision. But, I mean, obviously, yes, it's a mistake. Okay, move on a little bit here. Looking now at a bit of bot side pressure. They know where Hillsong is, and he's going to land this anchor now. The root's there as well. Good damage, half HP. His Fortune nearly finds the kill, but has to go to sleep first. Now, we've got the rest of it. Adam, nowhere to go, but the Tri-Brush and dying in the 1v4.
Yeah, tries to TP in to save Hilly. Would have been able to get away anyway. Sleep, though.
I think he lives, though. Flag and drag away. It's not a follow-through. Whippo not in range. No ulti. Doesn't really matter anymore. Niski gonna keep trying. Good damage on a Maple. I mean, Niski really trying his best to keep the team alive. Whippo gets a stab, but not much more.
I mean, especially in this position right here is where Zoe thrives, right? You have such like a big terrain to use to find those massive bubbles, chain them into the paddle star, but still they're not able to do it. They will be able to break open a turret, so gold once again getting a little bit closer. We're nowhere close to another Dragon spawning, still a few minutes away from a Baron. I feel like the question on my side is if PSG are going to aggressively look for picks, because again, they're the ones coming off resets. They will have tempo coming off onto the map, look to push waves out. You'd probably expect them to start walking down in towards that bottom side jungle, because that's where the wave is. Try to use Scatter the Weak, catch someone off guard.
Dean just gonna go ahead and collect waves in the mid lane, keeping up in farm, keeping his gold up, but we can watch this Axe Effect replay again in the bot lane. Worked pretty well for PSG Talon.
Yeah, find the hook onto Hilly. He has to instantly run away. I mean, for Adam, he thought he was TPing in to cover his teammates. Potentially they could take the fight. Bean was making his way down, but sadly left in the middle of all the other members of PSG, who do not only have great burst, but also a ton of lockdown. So the second he TP's in, he is just instantly gone.
Yeah, that was a good play by River to make sure his body was over the top of the teleport as he showed up. There was no chance for Adam to take counterplay. Stun was then layered by Maple really well. So, you know, execution was mint from PSG Talon, but obviously, again, a mistake of a teleport, and it means the gold lead remains over 2,000 in PSG Talon's favor. Afraid of getting ganked, Anabi gonna have to burn the teleport. That'll be down yet again for the next Dragon.
Yeah, for PSG, they're opting into the play that we were just hitting on of looking towards this bottom half of the map and playing around the Syndra to look for picks. They don't have all too of aggressive vision coming out yet, but with the fact that Baron is coming up before Dragon, maybe for PSG now, you hover both mid and jungle towards the mid lane and look to try and push your way in, brute force into that top side and get some of your own vision down.
Worth noting, though, that we are going for, I believe, a Wit's End out of Whippo here with the Null Magic Mantle and the Dagger. He is itemized specifically for Maple trying to one-shot him. If that doesn't happen, then he's going to be fine, able to go for the resets. Just find it kind of interesting that he's going for this build here and not the very standard Sterix gauge for so many of these melee bruisers. Mid lane turret going to fall, though. Goldie going to grow for PSG Talon. Top lane, though, pushed in, and Adam will deny a wave and maybe even two. As now Hanabi is now on the way over, can claim the dregs of that one and the rest of the other. So will keep up there. Muramana all the way transformed, and Collector just now completed for Unified.
Yeah, big item power spikes coming out on both sides. Same for Adam being on 2.5 items now. No one else really even close. Maybe Fnatic should be sitting on some standing gold as Niski. Oh, yeah. Gets a nice bit of damage down onto Maple. Gonna once again make their way up towards that top side. Dragon will be up in 40 seconds. Neither team really having vision control down there just yet, but PSG being the ones to come back off on the map. Only one control ward in inventory, so would have been nice to see a little bit more.
Sure. But not going to happen here. It's going to be walking out. A teleport in the mid lane for tempo. Maple is like, you know what? I'm not going to keep for anything else for a while, so let's just make sure I'm in the mid lane. Let's make sure we actually completely own this wave. Fight for the next one and then walk the Dragon right as it spawns is probably the play. Neither team, though, has ward control over the bot river right now. 3 wards in inventory for Kai Wing, but sitting in mid right now. Not, again, lighting up this bottom side. A similar set of situation here for Fnatic. Finally, the wards are coming down.
This is what we were hitting on earlier about how PSG's comp works in these situations, right? Accelerate, Shock Blast, Hillsong!
Wow, Hanabi just barely flashing all the way over it. The pick not going to be found. With that gone, it seems very likely Fnatic will not find their way into this fight. They can maybe put a credible threat towards Baron, but that's not really going to happen there as wards come down. One of the wards that was going to spot actually a walk towards Baron actually gets replaced as a result. Not get him out of though. Flag gets the vision. Okay, no one's going for the steal. Second Dragon goes to PSG Talon. They are 10 minutes away from the Cloud Soul, and they are not cross-mapped.
No, we see right there, right? Fnatic's really only real opening, if I can say my words.
You're fine.
Try and find some kind of bubble. If Hilly can get someone who's overstepping, you can look for the engage, but you don't have too many engage tools. You don't have anyone who could just blindly walk into areas where PSG control because you don't have a frontliner. And we saw there accelerated Shock Blast, the Scatter of the Weak, the threats of the bullet time. PSG just have so much poke that it feels like they have more engage in you, they have more of a frontline, and are also putting out more poke. So for Fnatic, it's really about trying to control vision where PSG aren't and finding picks.
Well, they're going to try in the mid lane nearly. Actually, they hit on the Unified. Wouldn't have killed because it wasn't the bubble. That was just a paddle star. And Maple grabbing the blue buff, though. And Adam collecting a wave in the bottom lane. 2.2 thousand remains the gold difference. I believe Fnatic got the first Dragon of the game, which means PSG have gotten 2 straight. Actually, I'm very confident that's true because Dragon was traded for second Rift Herald, and that was the pacing of this one. So PSG, though the gold has flattened, they have been still getting neutrals to their side. Turret score still 3-2, not a huge difference there. And we are playing a fairly slow one, waiting to see then, as we crest towards the late game, who's going to make the big play.
Now Fnatic now just overloading bottom side of the map. They have 5 members down there first, so they're going to be able to control vision. Seems like both teams kind of comfortable playing the stack the dragon game. I still think PSG are the team who should be playing more proactively and trying to push into enemy jungle, get their own vision down, look for these picks. Oh, Hilly though. Oh, he's Rakan. He's completely fine.
Yeah, he's got a teammate. Okay, there's a root, but the dash is back, but now River is in, and Hylissang just gets W back. Ignite is on, but River flash Q in his namesake, and he knocks down Hylissang.
I mean, Fnatic thought, hey, this is Rakan. He's fine going in, looking for this vision alone. Looked like it was at first, but PSG...
Do they know? They know. They saw him go through a ward, and they find the second knockup. There's nowhere to go. Whippo, ult flash, might get you to safety. There's the flash, there's the ult. The Lance is gonna miss, and he will survive.
Yeah, PSG though, maybe get Niski.
Niski, oh! The prediction, the hook before the flash. Do they have the damage? You damn right they do. There's one, and there's two.
And
Bean was out of summoners.
Yeah, this is a Baron angle for PSG. Adam was on the opposite side of the map, split pushing that whole time. We were talking about PSG should be the ones to be the aggressors, but this whole sequence started off with Fnatic being the ones to walk into PSG's topside jungle. Now PSG gonna be able to pivot towards the Baron. I expect Fnatic to look for a contest, even though they realistically shouldn't, but there's really no trade angle on the map either.
No, Hylissang gonna be zoned out. Even if he wanted to try, it's not gonna happen. Baron has been claimed, but hold on, there's a fight to be had. This is not a fight Fnatic can win. It's 3v5. How would you ever get anything out of this one? Hylissang dives in, and now it's time to start dying. Oh, Adam, he came so close. He got so far. He tried so hard, but in the end, 1 in 5, and it just does not matter.
Look, Freak, you could see that that wasn't going to be a winning fight for the side of Fnatic, but we have a word for that in the LPL. That's called mojo. Adam had a lot of mojo in that moment. Went in, thought he could do it, could make the hero play, can go for the Hail Mary. Didn't work out, but again, in the LPL, we have respect for plays like that.
Yeah, it was sadly a bit reckless, even without him on the roster. Now, Whippo, though, wants an mid. I like that they are trying. Can Abel be stunned? No, he used the minion successfully, puts the ulti in, and Whippo, is he going to make it happen? They get one, and now he is the Syndra. But he is squishy. Ults and runs away. Tries to stay alive as minions shoot him, and another teammate dies. 2 for 1 so far, and River, EQ's back up soon, and he's got a dunk. But Cloud Rift means a lot of movement. It means Whippo is safe.
I'm still just too caught up in the reckless comment. All of that, really cool. Nice to see you throw that one in. PSG, they have Baron. They're going to be able to force their way in to bottom side jungle. They have a siege comp. They have so much range. They can just look to force Fnatic off and keep going. They even have tools to engage if a member of Fnatic oversteps, or if they had a bigger wave, could we potentially look for something like a dive? Not the situation here. Dragon's up in 36 seconds, so PSG going to be playing towards that one. Can't even look to like hide in a brush right now or look for one of those plays because they've complete wards in Fnatic's bottom side jungle.
It depends how aggressive Fnatic wants to play. I was going to say reckless, not worth it. Just move on to a different term. Ultimately, they are not playing too aggressively. PSG Talon are holding the brush, but like, oh, they're going mid. Okay. Assuming they were going to kind of trade for bottom river control, but now this means that Unified and River are behind them. Bullet time, a knock-up, and oh, it's almost beautiful. Health bars are low, but only for a 1-for-1. Niski drops, though. Unified trades it. It's now a 3v3. Whippo wants to fight Hanabi, can't make it happen, but Adam gets one as well. Despite the deficit, Fnatic make the fight close, only down 1 in that battle.
Still, PSG almost found the big combo. They were just off sync a little bit with the way the bullet time was facing, right? Had it been slightly to the right, all the members of Fnatic would have been gone. So I like the idea coming out from PSG. It was a bit of a shot in the dark. Oh no, the sad
I love Sad B. Sad B is maybe the single best emote. I know top laners use camp. Nah, that's not the meta. That's so overused. And I like that. Hanabi, his former team, teammates with Maple on Flash Rolls back when, has that for the ace.
And now should be able to head to Dragon, get that one scot-free. I mean, they have gotten almost 3K with this Baron, but still for PSG, I think it would have been nice to get a little bit more. Did get a little bit scrappy. as we go straight into the replay. Again, really cool idea coming out from them. They know they're pivoting down. Fnatic doing a nice job not to walk through the jungle. Ult hits, but all the members of Fnatic are able to get forward. Still, the ult does get a little bit more damage onto Bean and Dwimbo. Could have been really nice. As Freak, we got another one!
We got some fights. We're ending this one with a bang as River wants in, puts the dunk on in. Bean is ultiless. And flashes a safety though. Damage in for Kaiwing, trying to take the 1v1, and Nautilus is successful. 2 and 3 kills picked up. Now Niski and Adam are on the way out, and there's not a lot left to do here. PSG, they claim their third dragon, and they're looking for Fnatic's base.
That's the thing, right? PSG have the wave set up to even look for the pushes to be able to take inhibitors. Not sure if they can go for the end 20-second death timers. I think Fnatic should be in time to respond, but at least PSG have wave set up to be able to take some structures. Big wave on top side as we are seeing now, and it looks like Hanabi and River will be able to get the bottom lane turret. Still though, with how much action this game has had in the past few minutes, it's kind of surprising that of how steady it still feels. I don't know, like it still feels like both teams kind of playing out for the next dragon timers and things like this. Then randomly out of nowhere, Freak, big action.
Yeah, here comes the TP play. Fnatic are trying their hardest to find a comeback, playing absolutely all out, but Adam doesn't have crowd control. That man is Graves. And that man's about to land in one as Hanabi is godlike.
No, that was rough.
Okay, River is taken for a while. Sterix pop, he's got a Syndra nearby. Goes for the dunk, gets pushed back. Niski gets a single kill, but the support is dead now as well. Whitbo trying his best costly to get a kill, but won't have that one happen either. Turret's falling to the other side of the map as you just got Unified pushing it down.
They can just buy time.
Whitbo and Niski on a Hanabi, 1,000 gold shut down. That is a very wide Whitbo, but they are losing Nexus turrets. Trying to get his damage, he can dunk, he's out on Jace, and there's the kill. He's getting bigger and bigger, but again, the Nexus turrets are still dying and they gotta get back there.
That was something. I'm not quite sure what.
Entertaining.
I was gonna say,
entertaining.
you can understand the idea of what Fnatic and Adam was going for that situation.
Yeah.
Again, it's when you are being forced in your base on multiple fronts, you have to give up one side of the map and overload somewhere else. So they go for this play on the bottom side. You were hitting on it. Graves, not the champion that's gonna lock anyone down. PSG are also decently far ahead. And Nabi bursts him out immediately. River keeps following up to go in.
Yeah.
And for PSG, oh my God, there's more!
He's dead. So listen, if death is the best crowd control, kill's the second best because they stand still to kill you. So he tried really hard to be like, look, he's standing still, he's hitting all his buttons, I've pulled him in. It's like he's blitzcrank. It just ends with 400 gold being handed over.
I just can't, Freak.
That's the Graves crowd control.
That's true. I'll give you that.
Yeah. He's got a collector. I got nothing. I don't know. I was trying to go somewhere, but I'm on 2 hours sleep, so I've got no connection to that
I was
one.
going to say, the best thing this week, guys, is seeing how Freak is with no sleep, with still trying to make puns and jokes. And I'd say a solid 90% of them miss the mark, which makes them even better.
Which, by the way, is my normal hit rate. I don't know if you know that.
It?
But 90% of them not landing is just like, yeah, that's just how it goes.
I was going to say, at MSI, you were pretty impressive.
Woo! Well, Hanabi, yep. That hit rate's pretty high. He's landed a lot of these ones. 25 to 11 in kills. Dragon Soul in a minute and a half. Whippo around, out of the fog. Still okay. Ult follows. Knocked into the air. This will be a kill. Syndra puts it in, and Hanabi knocks it down. The man just gets kill after kill after kill. PSG telling, they could go Baron, and they will.
Yeah, PSG, I guess, not wanting to force this one too hard. They do have supers going to the top lane. Look, for them right now, you can start pushing in this mid wave. You don't even really need to reset off of this. So just start funneling down through mid, look to go for the end, but no, they do want to go for resets, and they actually do want to play for Soul. A bit surprised. Oh! Adam just... Well, we are seeing that so much this game.
He found the best crowd control. He upgraded. 40 seconds still. He's in the fountain. The Graves CC has arrived.
Yeah, this, you know, it's kind of sad that this game doesn't mean something, because if the game played out like this and this was, you know, maybe the side or something, that honestly would have actually been a banger.
It's like game 1 of a BO5. This is like the entire quarterfinal series.
Oh, And every time we look
Downgraded back.
Yeah, we just
Downgraded
instantly
back.
burst it out. Again, PSG playing for this. PSG can just push for the base. They can.
Yeah.
They don't need to play this out too methodically, go for soul. They have Baron, they have minions on top side.
Big damage on a river, but he is tanky enough because the man actually built some durability. Okay, hold on. Hanabi, 11-4, but in a 1 versus 3 means he will oh my gosh! Kills Hillsong, still goes down. Dragon will be claimed in time. Cloud Soul in for PSG Talon. Their gold lead is still 11,000.
You know, it looks like they're going for the end finally, but I don't care about damage or macro or anything like that. The longer this goes, the more it benefits Fnatic just because of how much clown car nonsense keeps happening, and PSG going again.
Uh-oh, weep, he's trying to run. Ooh, the flash is in time to get away from Cataclysm. So they have no Nexus turrets, but they have a Nexus, and that means they have not lost the game yet.
But
yes, please.
I'm gonna say Fnatic can pick up another win against Sadly. I'm not gonna rehash what Freak has been saying all day about Fnatic.
Oh, that they haven't failed in groups before. Like, okay, we're gonna hold on with the fight. We have to do the real casting when there's a battle. Now there's not.
Well,
okay,
Freak, there's no battle.
All right. Did you know Fnatic have only failed in groups once before across Worlds and MSI across 11 showings? This is their second, sadly. This is the second time they have failed in groups. Unfortunate, a 0-3 run in the first week, and they were given hope when they won their very first game today, but sadly could not string the wins together.
So we're gonna get a replay of something. Oh, okay, we're gonna get a replay of this. Hanabi making his way around. His actually does make a decent distance away, all things considered, with Flash. Had just so big at this point, not quite sure how many items he's at. You would expect probably 5?
Yep,
oh,
he's
no,
tapped.
Well, yes, we'll build.
A lot of he's got 12 kills. The man is big.
You know, we've just had so many shenanigans, it's been really hard to follow who has it. Again, especially when it feels like PSG could have been making more aggressive moves for...
oh, they're embracing it.
Yeah, quite a little bit. Looks like they are enjoying trying to find some kills onto Fnatic. Still, though, does give Fnatic the chance. Only 11k gold down.
Yeah, they're hoping that if you get enough kills, the win counts as 2, and they can enter the tiebreaker. You know, go up to 4 wins if somehow it's like, yeah, at 60 kills, you unlock the double win bonus.
Could be game time as well, right? Maybe if you go up to like a 120-minute game, it actually counts as 2.
If you win the first hour and the second hour, you know, like there's just a lot of ways to think about this one. Sadly, none of them are in the rules, so it won't matter.
Now we're going to see PSG. They do have 2 inhibitors down. They could be looking to push top if they do want to take it more methodically, get a 3rd inhibitor down, and then just look to use the fact that they have 3 inhibs down with super minions to just siege at the Nexus. Like you said, Freak, they don't have Nexus turrets. They do still have a Nexus, but...
Okay, they're going to try.
Let's go!
He's going to get himself a Nautilus, coming burst to stopwatch, and Whippo ults and just dies. Unified gets the final shot, and it's time to chase the 5v4. Niski's trying to get away. Unified puts him low. Dunk in for River. Heals up pretty aggressively as Jace knocks down Graves. Hanabi wants in, and Hanabi gets it. Double kill in for the Jace. Open Nexus, and the game shall end. PSG Talon will end Worlds 2021 with 3 wins. A 3rd place finish in the group. Fnatic sadly only good for 1, and they're playing it as slow as possible. The 6th man is in, the minion wave for the Nexus. PSG Talon, they want to take that hour-long win.
They want us to have time to remind everyone that there's an awesome tiebreaker for 1st place after this.
That's true.
Hanwha Life versus RNG. LCK domination, LPL failures, or do RNG find a way back?
That'll be fun. And at this point, I'm not covering this. Hanwha Life Esports versus Royal Never Give Up is the next game today, and the battle for the top spot out of the group. Congratulations on the 3-3 win. Sadly, it is still only 3rd place. Sadly for Fnatic, it is a 1-5 exit. I am glad to see them at least fight and try in the last game, but this year, sadly, they could not muster enough to get out of the group.
I think definitely today they looked better than they did in any game they did in the first week, right? Obviously, they picked up wins today, so for Fnatic, it's just gonna always be a question of what if. What if you had more time with Bean or been able to prepare differently, or had you had upset? But again, in the end, it's nice. Yamato walking over the smile. Looks like they understand, hey,
Yep.
with the circumstances. We weren't expected to get out. We did our best. We're going to get some experiences.
You can see smiles and laughter on the faces of several members of Fnatic. I know some EU players are not a fan of teams that smile and laugh when they get knocked out of groups at Worlds. Sadly, that happened to him this World. So, Odoamna, sometimes you can be happy just by getting on stage and playing some games with some friends of yours. At the end of the day, it is Fnatic making the 1-5 exit. The last hope of Europe is Mad Lions, the biggest hope of Europe anyway. They are the LEC champions, and we're going to see them tomorrow.
It also goes to the fact that I think most pre-tournament tier lists, your top 5 was Damwon, FPX, RNG, EDG, and Mad Lions. Like, you know, whatever way it's shaking out, most people write Damwon, FPX, EDG is your top, and then like RNG, Mad somewhere in there. And a lot of those teams have not panned out, to the misery of some.
Sure.
And, you know, hopefully Mad Lions, I do think that they're the team that I look at most who would be able to turn it around tomorrow. So hopefully we get that
There
in
he
there.
is. Adam joins in. Take a bow. Rookie split for Adam. Honestly, okay, this game's KDA was a little awkward, but Whippo roll swapped in a jungle. Adam steps in, and it was an impressive team. Second place in the LEC. A last-minute substitution, I know, hampered their shot at Worlds. I think with upset, yes, this team could have looked a little bit better. Not every game is perfect. Yes, there are mistakes that, you know, would have happened regardless of lineup, but